Arsenal go top of the league yet again. Of course, until Man City get their next match underway as they're playing FA Cup this weekend. But Arsenal do the job against Newcastle 1-0 at the Emirates Stadium. And obviously in front of their fans, they needed a point to prove. And I don't think they did that today in the extremity of the match, but to keep the fight on, to keep that Premier League battle going, Arsenal fans will be definitely happy with whatever result they have. Now, welcome to Dave and Aaron Talks Football, commenting on the latest Premier League action. Aaron, talk to me about Arsenal and today. It wasn't the most mind-blowing match in the world. It was a very kind of chess match, I would say, obviously between Eddie Howe and Arteta. As per usual, Newcastle are one of those teams that are, I would say, kryptonite for Arsenal sometimes.
Yeah, usually, yeah.
Over the last few seasons, we've seen it. So talk to me, what did Arsenal you think did well today that really make an impact on their match?
I'm not usually kind of lost for words a little bit. I do kind of feel Arsenal done really, really well to get the goal early as a strike.
Very good
exactly what you want for a player in that position, to see that, have the ability and execute. So well done to Eberechi Eze. But I thought the game was a bit drib drab. Obviously, do you know what I mean? Arsenal would only be concerned with getting the win and getting Newcastle out of there and getting on to the next fixture. It's got so kind of like pressure orientated with the way City have just come back into the race like this, that Arsenal, I don't think there will be a single fan in the Emirates that won't go like, we got out of there.
Still a couple of them at the end of the game. Newcastle just flooding bodies into the box, crosses flying in left, right, and center. And I think that's what it is. I think what they did well today was just to get over the line. That's it. Simple. They had one job to win, and that's it. And I think it's going to be like this until the end of the season, where it's tic-tac-toe between both teams, where Man City, I know they will get the goals. Arsenal won't beat them in goal difference. That's for sure. I know that for a fact. It's all about Arsenal maintaining 3 points and just getting 3 points until the end. And there's no more need to say about it, because that's all they can rely on. They have to do that and just hope that Man City eventually drop points. I've seen a lot of Arsenal fans post online on Man City's fixtures. They're playing a lot of the teams in the top half of the Premier League table. But really, in the grand scheme of it, shouldn't look like that. You should say, okay, the whole Premier League, a lot of the teams, they can beat you at any singular time. So you're not going to be comfortable all the time in specific matches. Today, Arsenal towards the end, they felt the nerves, they felt the pressure. And it clearly showed with Newcastle and Eddie Howe trying to try to fly bodies into the box.
I think it's Newcastle. Sorry to interrupt you, but Newcastle have really good midfielders, mate. So Tonali and Bruno Guimaraes and stuff like that sort of thing. So I think in that aspect as well, to manage the game and sort of get out of there, as I said, as Roy Keane usually coins, it's like, do your job. And I think it's one of those games today where everyone pretty much done their job. There might have been a couple of frightening moments, but you know, when it comes down, again, I'm just going to reiterate, like, do you know what I mean? If it was my team, Manchester United, in that same scenario, or your team, Real Madrid, wouldn't you just want to get out of there?
Yeah,
sitting right on your coattails, level on points, or do you know what I mean? Just get your job done, and then City, then it's over to Man City, really.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? It's like, for me, like, in terms of the game, I wouldn't be over analytical or too critical of Arsenal's performance, because they have to get over the line. So I think when you look at all of the other people who will do their, you know, obviously social media stuff, I think that would be the general consensus. Maybe some critiques, but I feel like I'll give Arsenal fair on that today.
Yeah, definitely. Lee Gunner will definitely critique.
Yeah, I was listening to him the whole game, mate. So
absolutely, you would definitely critique this. And I know it will, because
him and Southern Guna were, they picked holes through the plots, mate.
Yeah. The main thing is that, is this kind of performance sustainable until the rest of the Premier League is finished and done? I would say no, because yes, they can get over the line. Yes, they have Champions League against Atletico Madrid, and that's going to be a tough game as well. They need to keep one eye on that. Saka returning is a huge positive for Arsenal.
It's a big boost. You see how much they love that as well.
Absolutely. And a huge boost for that game as well. So we're looking at a Premier League race where Arsenal, yes, they do have the majority of teams. The only team that I could see them really stumbling against is West Ham, because West Ham are in a relegation fight.
As we said earlier, so it's
earlier with Tottenham match, and they're in a relegation fight. So they're going to be fighting for everything in this match also.
Not a 6-pointer, but you know what I mean. It's got a lot of ante on it.
A lot riding on it. Yeah, it's going to go either way. But for me personally, when I look at Arsenal, I look at Arteta, and I said this in a video last time. I said that Arsenal are just, they don't seem like a team that can win the Premier League. I'm sorry. It's always going to be like that in terms of their last minute ditch efforts of, okay, now we need to play. No, you should have been playing against teams that you drew against, teams that you lost against, the wins that you should have got, you didn't. And that's why you could potentially fumble this Premier League title. Exactly. Yeah, go on.
But to say that they don't, I know, because I mean, me and you like maybe sound a bit hypocritical if we're going to say that, because we were here maybe 6 or 7 videos ago saying that they look invincible a little bit.
They look invincible.
We need to check ourselves a little bit if we're being honest.
They dropped the ball. They dropped the ball. I'm sorry. They dropped the ball.
Yeah.
I said it. I said they're going to walk the league. Then they completely dropped the ball. They completely dropped their game.
I wouldn't have expected that, by the way, from their momentum. I wouldn't have expected it, to be honest with you.
Exactly. And the defensive record as well. Like, you're looking at a team that, attacking wise, they're not the best. Arsenal, I've got to be honest, they're not the best in attacking areas. They look lethargic. They look slow when they try to build up the ball in attacking areas. But what they always have is that defense, and you can never knock it, because it's always going to grind you through. Even if you have a 1-0 deficit for 81 minutes, Eberechi Eze scored in the 9th minute of the game. It was very early on.
Yeah,
and they were able to.
Until
the end of the game. So that's what I have always commended Arsenal in the defense. I've never commended Arsenal that much on their attacking potential, because it seems like they don't have it. And
a little bit short in it. It is like it's not got that sort of that Haaland-esque or I don't know.
I would say Haaland's game, that kind of attacking
Havertz
potential.
Didn't have the best game today, did he? Really? Like, obviously, he got taken off injured, and then, you know.
And Gyökeres even had a chance at the end to just make it 2-0 counter attack, and then he tried to square it across to Saka. And these are the kind of moments that you need to have your A players turn up, and you have a chance to go 2-0. You have a chance to kill off the game, and your final third pass is horrible. I mean, that's why we said that. That's why I said earlier, maybe Ødegaard brings a bit more of a creativity.
I was going to ask you how you thought he done, actually, in a little bit of analysis on him.
He was okay. I mean, he worked really, really hard today, I say, as the captain of Arsenal. You saw him down and out at the end of the match, like what happened?
This is probably his first game in a while as well, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, a proper game, especially against a physical team of Newcastle stature.
Yeah.
You're gonna have an absolute crazy battle in the midfield.
Quite a lot of bricks in there. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, especially with guys against like Tonali and so forth. So you're gonna have a physical battle, and these are the kind of matches where you need your captain and your leader to step up. And I think he did so in certain aspects, and he didn't so in other aspects, because Newcastle's a difficult team to break down. Arsenal barely had I think they only had 4 shots on target, and it's just. I don't want to say this, but Arsenal, towards the end of the season, they're going to find out if they're really made of the minerals that they need to be to win this Premier League. Because if they don't, and they lose to West Ham, or they draw to West Ham, or they look at their remaining matches and they just completely crumble the pressure, it needs that extra bit of Man City-esque kind of magic to really win a Premier League at the end when it comes down to these battles. And you saw years upon years Man City, Liverpool going toe to toe.
Yeah,
and that's Man City. That's what Man City had.
Momentum now,
especially the four-peat that they done. Man City, you see what kind of attitude they have.
So you're essentially saying, like, knowing how to cross the line. Essentially, when it gets to the thick of it, we know how to do it and you don't, and that's the crux of it, isn't it? Really,
that's it.
Between you know, and it's been like that for the 3 seasons. But
it's until Arsenal do that, then they can do it. But the situation is, is they should have won that Carabao Cup. If they won that Carabao Cup,
then the momentum
you would have given them.
Yeah,
and we said it. We said it throughout
yeah,
the
we did
season.
that. Yeah.
You need to win that Carabao Cup to give you some kind of motivation to win the next trophy. If you don't get over the hurdle winning the first trophy, especially with this crop of players that Arteta has brought in, because when he won the FA Cup, he had your Aubameyangs and other players. It's a different, it's a team inherited from Unai Emery. So it's always going to be a difficult task for Arsenal to get over the line. But if they do, then you know what? It could be the start of something great for this team, because then they understand what it takes to win a Premier League or what it takes to win a Champs. Like, I could say Arsenal in a final of a Champs against Bayern Munich or PSG, they could do the job. If they really stick to their guns, they could do the job. But Bayern Munich and PSG are, I would say, about 5 to 6 times better than Man City. 100%.
Well, the way things are going currently, mate. Yeah,
absolutely,
the
absolutely.
two best teams in the world.
And I would love to do a video, obviously, with you. We discussed it before, but Bayern Munich and PSG, why are they so ahead of the curve? They are miles ahead of their attacking potential is disgusting. I know Arsenal beat them this year, Bayern Munich. I know they did, but this Bayern Munich side are a different breed. And
I mean, it's a philosophical thing with Bayern Munich and PSG. It seems like they're so far more ingrained in the kind of like in the ability to play football with each other than everybody else. I think I feel like, and that's not going to mean you're going to win every game, but I mean, there's just the culture, everything like that. Enrique and company seem to be the two leading managers at the moment. Exactly. One thing I was going to say, sorry, David, was did you not think that before the League Cup final, or Carabao as we say these days, that Pep was a bit downbeat? He wasn't Pep, but now he's won that trophy.
Yeah,
you can sort of see Pep back. With the media, he's a bit snarly again. He's got his chest back out a bit. Do you know what I mean? Like, and Arteta's kind of having to explain himself every time.
Yeah, that Carabao Cup came seemingly after that Champions League battering that Real Madrid gave Man City. So they needed something to give them a bit more impotence to really go and try and fight for everything now. And they've gone from losing a Champions League game against Real Madrid to now probably going to win the double in all 3 domestic comps. That's crazy. It's just mad that to win a domestic treble, is crazy for them. Considering,
so are you calling that already? So, like, City's title? Like,
I don't even know yet. I don't know. They beat Southampton. They beat Southampton today.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
they're really in the final, potentially, probably against Chelsea, depending. Obviously, I mean, if
Leeds United, the heritage, you know what I mean?
No, if Leeds United get to the final, that would be a great story for them. But going back to it, I think Arsenal to lose the Premier League title, and I think they'll pass Atletico Madrid. I think they'll get to the final of the Champions League. I've got to be honest.
It's a sticky one. It's a really sticky one. But from what Atletico are tough though, man, because I think, that Barca game as well, over the 2 legs as well, sort of thing, proved that they are worthy of being there, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like Arsenal should. I don't think stylistically as well. It's like 2 very similar philosophical approaches. So it's going to be interesting. It's a shame I'm going to bloody miss it, but hopefully you can carry the torch on that.
I can. But Arsenal's remaining games, let's just go for it. But apart from Atletico Madrid in Champions League, we're going to skip that because we're going to concentrate on the Premier League. Fulham at home, I think Arsenal will beat them. West Ham away, Arsenal can win that game, I think. Arsenal, Burnley at home. Then the final game, and this is, I think, going to be another tough one for Arsenal, is Crystal Palace. Now, Crystal Palace themselves, I know they just got beaten by Liverpool 3-1, but they have a good string of games as well. They have Man City away at the last 2 games, and then Arsenal at home. So Palace at home against Arsenal, that is going to be a very tough game for Arsenal, believe me. And it depends on the situation where Crystal Palace are, but I think there are a few points of drift of Europe as well. So the actual table standing, if you look at it between the teams entering to Europe Conference League, I was saying Europa League, it's not that far off from. So it's a very high competition rate between all these teams. So it's all depending on what Crystal Palace can do, and all depending on West Ham can do. Burnley and not touching Arsenal. That's factual.
No,
yeah.
they've been the whipping
and
boys.
The next game, the next game at the Emirates against Fulham. Fulham are not touching Arsenal. It's all down to that Crystal Palace.
Fulham were tricky, though, you know. Fulham were tricky. I wouldn't not full
conclusion. Last year, they did.
It's Premier League, bro. Do you know what I mean?
Like, it was problem last year, but it's obviously going to be a difference maker. And these London derbies, there was a sticky one. They have Fulham, they have Crystal Palace, and these kind of London derbies are very, very weird. West Ham, they have 3 London derbies upcoming. Arsenal. Anyone
West Ham's the most noteworthy there. I think that's the one, as we said earlier.
That's the one where West Ham are going to put everything. They're going to put the kitchen sink on that one, 100%. You know, especially when did you see anything? What would, because I just literally like missed it. Was there anything majorly wrong with Havertz, or is or is it just knock? Honestly, I just don't like Havertz. I just don't like Kai Havertz. I've got to be honest. Okay. I think he's a bozo. I've got to be honest. I've never liked him as a football player. I would never trust in his abilities in any team. When Real Madrid were trying to, when the transfer rumors heated up about Kai Havertz, I just said, if you come to Real Madrid, I will officially disown Real Madrid, mate. I'm not.
Oh, really? Is that bad?
Yeah, he is trash, mate. Like, I don't understand the need behind Arteta putting Kai Havertz in the squad anyway. When you have Gyökeres, who's a proven goal scorer in Europe, a proven goal scorer, why are you even contemplating putting Kai Havertz on? But ultimately, look, it's Arteta's decision, whatever he wants to do. I know why he does Kai Havertz. I know why he puts him for just that kind of hold-up play that he can offer and aerial ability. Apart from that, Kai Havertz is trash. One-on-one, horrific. In front of goal. He's horrific. He proved that in the last game.
I was kind of more asking about if he was injured for a long term with that injury he went off with, but obviously, your tirade still stands.
My tirade still stands, mate. Do you know what? He's going to see Gyökeres play. You're going to see Gyökeres play. That's it. Simple. And Kai Havertz, you will never trust Kai Havertz essentially in the first place. And sometimes, obviously, like
the bench is quite effectual sometimes.
I know.
I.e. Chelsea, in the semi-final, the Carabao, and all of that, he can slip in with the goals. But
we'll see anyway. We'll see with Arsenal, man, where they go, mate. Because I don't even know, mate. With their attacking unit with Saka coming back, I think it's going to give them a bit more direction. Because Saka, even though people don't rate him in terms of his performances over the season,
it's crucial.
He was genuine. He's a tricky player to deal with. He could turn up in one game and you never see it coming. Like that's the situation with Saka, and it's so glad for him to be back just before Athletic Madrid. It's so handy. But any final thoughts with Arsenal and Newcastle, and then anything else on Arsenal?
Right. So my final conclusion was with the Arsenal game. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, get the win, get the hell out of there next fixture. Do you know what I mean? So, do you know what I mean? Got to say well done for getting the job done, and title race is on. One question I wanted to ask you: would you take Tonali at Real Madrid?
It's a tough one. I would take him for squad depth. Yeah, for squad depth. I wouldn't put him.
Not first team though. Okay. I just think he's a baller, but yeah.
I think he's a baller as well. I don't think he would suit Real Madrid's play.
Arsenal
I would love Guimaraes. Guimaraes is a Real Madrid. I would.
Yeah, he's a Real Madrid player. Yeah.
Guimaraes, absolutely. Yeah. But I just think that I like Tonali as well. Yeah, it's a tough one actually. I mean, anybody would take them at their own club. I think, especially in world football. I think Newcastle have really good talented players.
Yeah, they do.
Very good talented players. So especially in that midfield. Yeah, especially in that midfield. And I mean, just like I think Eddie Howe has just lost it a bit stylistically in terms of not adapting.
Yeah, 14th doesn't look good for Newcastle, to be fair, in this season. But what can I say? Yeah. Man United finished 15th last year, so I can't say nothing. So
I mean, Lewis Hall was on the bench today. I like Lewis. I think he's a great player.
Good player.
Very good. He proved it against Barcelona in the Champions League. Very good. But guys, what do you think, obviously, of the Arsenal match? Arsenal 1, Newcastle 0. Let us know in the comments below. Like this video, comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And we will see you on another Dave and Aaron Talks Football for a post-match reaction on the Premier League and other competitions around Europe. But guys, take care, sayonara, and that is Arsenal at the top of the Premier League.
Top of the league.
See you later.
Peace
Bye.
out.